Hold your breath, folks, because we're diving into Peter Jackson's 2005 3-hour epic, King Kong. It's the movie that asks, how much trauma can one blonde lady endure before she decides a 25-foot gorilla is actually a better listener than her boyfriend? Hit like and subscribe so you never miss a blockbuster. We start in 1933 New York. It's the Great Depression, everyone is sad, and vaudeville is deader than my high school dreams. And Darrow is out of a job because the theater closed, and honestly, her only prospect is a fruit-related incident at the local grocery store. Enter Carl Denham. He's a director whose latest footage is being called trash by the studio. Instead of taking the feedback, he decides to steal the film, the equipment, and find a blonde girl to lure onto a boat before the police realize he's a lunatic. Carl finds an and promises her adventure and a starring role. He lures her with the promise of food. The ultimate 1930s pickup line. She's skeptical, but hey, it beats starving on the street. Carl tricks Jack Driscoll, the playwright, into staying on the ship by accidentally forgetting to give him a check. Jack is trapped on the SS Venture as it pulls away from the pier, and the cruise from hell officially begins. The ship is a floating disaster. It's filled with wild animals, shady sailors, and enough explosives to level a small country. Jack finds out he's being forced to write a screenplay for a movie they're filming on the way to a mythical island. Anne and Jack start a cabin fever romance. It's very 1930s, lots of intense staring and talking about writing. Meanwhile, Carl is filming everything like a man who knows he's going to jail if this movie doesn't make $1 billion. The crew hears weird rumors about Skull Island. The map is just a smudge of ink and a prayer. Captain Engelhorn thinks Carl is crazy, which is the most accurate thing anyone says in the first hour. Carl's got the Skull Island map. Then boom. A random gust snatches it into the ocean, like the universe saying, yeah, you're doomed. They hit a fog bank so thick you could carve it. Suddenly, the ship isn't in water anymore. It's hitting rocks. They've arrived at Skull Island, and it looks exactly like the kind of place you'd find on a top 10 places to never visit list. They go ashore. It's dark, it's creepy, and there are skulls everywhere. You'd think the skulls everywhere would be a red flag, but Carl just sees it as great production value. The locals appear, and they aren't exactly throwing a welcome party. A standoff ensues, things get violent, and a crew member gets speared. Finally, Captain Engelhorn shows up with guns and negotiates their way back to the ship. Back on the boat, everyone is traumatized except Carl, who is probably thinking about the lighting. But while they're arguing, the locals sneak onto the ship and kidnap Anne. They need a tribute for their big friend behind the wall. Anne is tied up on a massive altar. The drums are beating, the torches are lit, and the gate opens. Out comes the eighth wonder of the world. He's huge, he's hairy, and he looks like he hasn't had a hug in 1,000,000 years. Kong grabs Anne and runs into the jungle. He's basically like finders keepers, blonde girl. The crew realizes she's gone, and Carl organizes a rescue party, mostly because she's the leading lady and he can't finish the movie without her. The rescue party enters the jungle. It's like Jurassic Park, but on steroids. They run into a stampede of apatosaurs. It's a giant mess of thumping legs and sailors getting squashed like bugs. The dinosaurs are chasing them, and raptors are joining the party. It's a chaotic CGI buffet. Carl is still carrying his camera, filming his crew getting eaten. That is some serious dedication to the craft. Cut back to Anne and King Kong, and yep, first impressions. Not exactly friendly. The giant dude seems to be trying to say something, but poor Anne is just not getting it. After a whole series of exaggerated body language attempts, she finally realizes, oh, he's not attacking, he just wants to play. Big Guy's basically a misunderstood goof. The film crew reach a giant log over a ravine. Kong appears and he's not happy. He shakes the log like a toddler with a rattle, and half the crew falls into the pit of despair. Jack, Carl, and a few members of the film crew survive the pit. Carl's camera is smashed, and for a split second, he actually looks sad not for the dead men, but for the lost footage. He decides to stop being a director and start being a captor. The bug pit scene. If you have an irrational fear of insects, this is where you close your eyes. Giant crickets, slugs with teeth, and things that look like nightmare spiders. It's a buffet, and the sailors are the main course. Meanwhile, Anne's having the worst day ever, first getting chased by a giant lizard that clearly has her on the menu. She dives into a hollow tree for safety, only to run straight into a massive centipede because of course it can get worse. Somehow she escapes, stumbles back out, and plot twist, the lizard is gone. Did it give up? Nope. It just got upgraded to someone else's lunch. And just when she barely catches a break, and has to bolt again, this time with a T-Rex hot on her heels. And pulls the classic freeze and hope it works move, and somehow, it actually does. The T-Rex walks right past her, but plot twist, there's another T-Rex right next to her. Just as she's about to become dino dinner, our giant ape hero swings in for the save like a total legend. Kong fights the dinosaurs while holding it in one hand. He's swinging her around like a ragdoll. If she didn't have a concussion before, she definitely has one now. Remember that T-Rex that dipped out earlier? Yeah, it's back for round 2, aiming straight for Anne, but Kong steps in just in time. Now it's him versus 2 T-Rexes. Wait, make that 3, because another one jumps in from behind. Yep, 3 versus 1, totally unfair fight. And somehow, Kong's not just throwing hands with giant predators, he's also babysitting Anne at the same time. Talk about pressure. Kong and the T-Rexes go at it until they all come crashing down a vine-covered cliff, wrapped up in vines but still throwing down like it's the final round. Kong takes out 2 of them, then he and the last T-Rex slam to the ground below. And now it's a full-on, no-holding-back death match between 2 giants. Kong and the T-Rex charge at each other, no hesitation. In a brutal move, Kong bites its tongue, then grabs its jaws and snaps them wide open, until crack, game over. With the T-Rex defeated, Kong pounds his chest like a champ, claiming victory in true king fashion, and is officially impressed and terrified. Kong takes Anne to his mountain lair. They watch the sunset together. Anne says beautiful, and Kong understands. It's a Beauty and the Beast moment, except the beast is the size of a house. Jack Driscoll sneaks into the lair while Kong is sleeping. He's like a ninja. He grabs Anne and they try to make a run for it, but Kong wakes up and he is livid. Kong chases them back to the giant wall. He's smashing through the jungle like a bulldozer. The crew is waiting with a plan. Let's knock out the giant ape with enough chloroform to kill a blue whale. It's a massive struggle at the gate. Kong is throwing people into the ocean. Carl Denham finally gets the money shot and hits Kong with a harpoon and gas. The giant falls, Carl yells, "The whole world will pay to see this." We cut back to New York. Carl is now the king of Broadway. He's putting on a show called Kong, the 8th wonder of the world. He's even got a fake Darrow on stage because the real one wouldn't touch this mess with a 10-foot pole. The curtains rise, and there's Kong, chained up in chrome steel. He looks miserable. The flashbulbs start popping, and Kong starts getting flashbacks to the pointy things on the island. Kong breaks the chains, chrome steel, more like wet cardboard to him. He smashes through the theater, and the audience realizes that interactive theater was a bad idea. Kong is loose in Manhattan. He's tossing cars like they're toys, looking for Anne. He finds her, and for a moment, the chaos stops. They have a quiet moment in Central Park on the ice. It's weirdly peaceful. The peace is broken by the military. Tanks and guns show up. Kong realizes he needs high ground, so he starts climbing the tallest thing he can find, the Empire State Building. He reaches the top with Anne. It's the ultimate date spot, but then the biplanes arrive. They're like annoying gnats with machine guns. Kong starts swatting. The planes keep coming. Kong is taking hits. It's a tragic showdown between nature and progress. The military planes accidentally blast the ladder Anne's climbing. She slips and falls, and for a split second it looks like it's all over. But nope, Kong comes in clutch, catches her midair, and safely sets her down like the absolute MVP. Kong keeps climbing to the top of the tower, tanking bullets the whole way, and makes it up and waves frantically, begging the planes to stop, but no luck. Kong's taking way too many hits at this point. Kong takes one last look at Anne, his eyes saying thanks for the juggling, and he falls. It's a long way down. He hits the pavement, and the crowd gathers around the fallen king. A reporter says the planes got him. Carl delivers the most famous line in cinema history. It wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the beast. Actually, Carl, it was the three-story fall and the machine guns. But sure, go for the poetic ending.